And this game is all about timing. It's all about your movement. Eyes is oyster perpetual. Swiss.
That's the main thing, bro. When I was thinking about it, like the first thing for me that came to mind was that my childhood ended quite early.
Yeah.
Quite quickly. Not because I had a son when I was 15, but more because of my brothers passing away. And my brother died when I was 10. So then at 10 years old, you have to deal with the realisation that death is real.
Yeah.
Like death can happen. Before man would read things on the news and that, or see things on the news.
How close to home he was.
Yeah, you think that could never happen to me. My man could never die. My dad would never leave. You know what I'm saying? My uncles and my brothers could never die. They're too strong.
That's the thing.
They would never die.
You just don't understand that.
Yeah. So I feel like that. And then obviously I had more deaths, my other brother, cousins and stuff. So I feel like I was kind of robbed of my childhood from that point. So I was trying to remember stuff before that.
Can't remember nothing.
Can't remember, fam. Like my mind was just going blank. I was just thinking, oh yeah, I remember things that I used to want to be and shit like that. But even my aspirations were mad, bro, and we got to speak about them.
Yeah, of course.
Man, I used to think I used to want to be a pimp.
An actual pimp.
An actual pimp. That's disturbing, bro.
That's a bit disturbing.
Like 10 below 10, bro, from early. I've been wanting to do the mad things. I wanted to be a burglar.
Yeah, you're new.
But it's because of the things man watch. Yeah, exactly. It's all of them movies and that. So my dad Delray and them man there.
Old tight Delray.
Got man wanting to be a pimp and that, bro. I've got man wanting to be drug dealer and all of that. Man's watching too many.
Yeah, trust.
Can't lie, Mike was a pimp still. Yeah, so.
Come on,
Old tight Mike.
work with the king, you know?
Old tight Mike pimp, yo.
I used to say stuff to my brothers like, I've got a bit. I was probably like 8 years old around this time. I used to say stuff to my brothers like, I've got bare girls, got a whole book of girls. I'd be like, hey, where's this book then? It's in my head. It's in my head. I start reeling off names. Man ain't got no gal. I'm just reeling off names from things in my class and that. Yeah, Syra and that. Yeah, Nadia and all of that. You think they're even looking at me? They'll get licks blood for looking at black man.
Man said Nadia, you know.
Get licks for looking at that. Seriously.
Yeah, when I was young, I think I wanted to be. I was a bit of a nerd when I was young, innit?
Nerd?
So, yeah, because see what it is, like, mum, like, I suppose you wouldn't call it that young, or some people would, some people wouldn't. My mum had me when she was 19, but she had lived alone since she was 15.
Yeah.
So, like, my mum was quite young, and she moved from where I was born in, like, Hertfordshire to Stratford because it was racist and all of that. And basically, like she was alone in it, so I lived a quite a sheltered life. When I was young, like, and obviously I didn't know at the time. I didn't know that I had an older brother, and I didn't have no younger brothers and sisters, so I was alone all the time. So I used to like always be watching like documentaries, all that kind of foolishness.
Yeah.
So
just educating yourself from
trust.
That's why I was so smart, man.
Well, that's what I was on when I was.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, it does.
You just said that, you know.
Yeah.
Explains how you are, blood.
Yeah, I know, trust.
Like,
but no one understands that. That's why I keep like I always go on about how you lot are lucky that you have brothers and sisters, innit?
Yeah.
Because there's a dimension like of social life that brothers and sisters teach you. Having brothers and sisters teaches you, whereas being an only child.
So not even brothers and sisters, like just having family. Cousins as well. I've got bare cousins in that.
So how old was you when you discovered your brothers or your brother?
When I found out that I had a brother, I was 10.
Okay.
And then it's mad because I found out I had a brother. I lived with my mum, and then when I was 11, when I was 10, my mum and my mum got pregnant, so I went and lived with. That's when I moved to the ends.
Okay, yeah.
And then, but my sister died when she was born, so I had the same kind of thing with you, like I didn't have much of a childhood anyway because I was always alone or with my mum. And then when I was gonna have a little sister, she died, and then I had to move to my dad's anyway, and then that's why I kind of, even though I was a sheltered child, and I was smart in that, I kind of hit the roads, fam, because it was freedom and all new and that.
Like, so you're exposed to the reality.
And that's why I was naive about the roads as well. You get me?
Same here, man. Same, bro. Same. And I've put a lot of thought into like the kind of people that we grew up around. As well, for instance, like, and I think back to it. We've done a good job of coming out of our environments, because now I feel like I'm hearing about people I went to school with, people that I just grew up around with. Just something's not clicking right with them in their mind, bro. Like they're going crazy and things like that. And I think a lot of it is just us dealing with so many of these adult experiences from a child. But there was still lots of innocence in the way of my thinking when I was a child still. Like, as much as me saying I had aspirations of becoming a pimp or a burglar or something, I still wanted to had other like more professionalized jobs, like a lawyer,
typical,
like an accountant, and all of that. But the reality of it is a lot of that stuff to me is boring. To become an accountant is boring. So spreadsheets and numbers, it's quite boring. They're quite boring tasks to me. And then being a lawyer as well, learning about legislation, learning about the history, and having to remember all of those dates. Like, that's childhood dream. The reality is, I can't learn all of this stuff. I can't put all of these things together. Do you know what I mean? So the reality of it is that I was never going to become that. But that's not to say if anyone out there wants to become a lawyer or an accountant,
like, follow your dream.
Follow your dream. You do you. But the reality is, that shit ain't for me.
We'll come back to that point of follow your dream, because
I like I was saying, I wanted to be a marine biologist, bro. Yeah, I wanted to like help animals and that. No man's an engineer.
Man said he wants to be a marine. How old was you when you wanted to be there?
Take him in, you know.
You know what I used to like, because remember I said I used to watch the documentaries. I used to want to go in the submarines, that you know when they go in the submarines, it's got the glass thing and that. I wanted to do that and go and see all the bright fishes.
That's the difference, fam. Because even when I was a kid, I'd want to go in a submarine, fam, but I wouldn't know that
I want to be a
marine biologist that does this.
See, when you see it, and then bring up my man's name. He's talking about the stingrays or something. And bring up my man's name, marine biologist underneath it. Like, that's how. Probably
you was taking that in from a child, but that's interesting. And that's what I mean. Yes.
But that's naive, because I thought that's how you have to see them fish. But as a man's older, you just go scuba diving. But you don't even have to be a marine biologist to appreciate fish and all of that shit.
Well, do you know what? Like, just looking more forward, And
am I allowed to swear in this thing? Sorry.
Yeah, we can always edit it out.
Being real.
But just looking at like us in our older life and just thinking about our environment and the community and all of that now. Bro, like, as a child, I really thought that everything that we experienced was normal. And it's not until in my adult life, and I've grown up and gained more experiences, I realised that a lot of stuff that we used to do, see and be around is not fucking normal, bro. Like, it's not normal. It's not normal to know, it's not normal for like 95% of the people you know to be shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not normal to think that stabbing a man is okay,
it's an
option. Or it's an option.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, these things are not normal, bro. Like, and I realised I couldn't even hold proper conversations with people fresh from school, because like with people outside of my community.
Because
I used to look at them like, that's weird, man. But really, like,
you're the weird
I'm
one.
the weird one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm the weird guy, bro. I can't even speak to these people properly, and I'm thinking that man getting stabbed up, shot in foods,
norms,
cheating on your girl, like having bare girls. I thought all of this was normal. Having a baby mum, I thought was normal, bro. Like, I was.
No, even the term baby mum, like,
do you know what I'm saying?
Like, that's not normal in itself.
It's not normal.
Technically, it should just be a missus, isn't it?
And then there's a deeper thing there. What is normal?
That's like all that is in my childhood now, isn't it? So, like, me growing up, I was with my mum. My mum and dad broke up when I was like 2. So I grew up in Chingford. My dad was in Walthamstow. So it's like, that's normal for me, innit? Go check my dad on the weekends. Every other weekend I will stay. But I lived with my mum Monday to Friday. That was normal.
Yeah.
Birthdays, double presents.
Same.
Christmas, double presents.
Same.
Like, what was mad though is that my grandparents lived off the same road, off a boundary road.
Yeah.
So initially, like, I still had all my family together, even though we're not under one roof.
Yeah.
It's mad. And then it's only when I went secondary school, and when you're mingling with the white folks, then that's when you find out your life's different.
Yeah.
It's like, they would ask me questions like, well, your mum and dad don't live together? I'm like, no.
Well, they're not married.
I'm like,
I know.
They're not married.
I'm like, no. Are you mad? I'm like, are you mad or something?
You're picturing them together.
Do you want someone to die in that or something like that? That can't happen. That's mum's there, dad's there, innit? Yeah. Not to say I was naive, but that was normal for me.
Yeah. But did you have any thoughts or dreams as to like how you thought your relationship would be with your parents when you got older?
Nah, I did. I had my own thoughts and dreams of what I wanted with my child.
Yeah.
Because at a young age, I've accepted, not even accepted, it's what I know. So it's like I never challenged it, innit? As a child, you might have had them moments of, I remember I used to cry a lot when I used to go back home to my mum because I didn't want to leave my dad.
I used to have that a lot.
Did you know from then when you was young that you didn't, like when you was older, you didn't want that to happen for your kids? Or was it something that
it's not something that clicked,
like
but
you
I
considered
always thought it, yeah.
Like I feel like when I was young, I knew that it wasn't normal for me to not live, like for doing the switch all the time. Like I used to hate it.
Like, I'll be honest, bro. Like for me, it's one of the things.
It was normal for me.
Yeah, it was very.
I saw enjoyment in everything. I didn't really see a negative side until other people pointed it out, and then I saw how it could look that way, and then it's a bit of seeing the reality of it. Okay, that's why. Oh, so we are meant to be a family thing.
Just think about that.
Mum and dad are meant to raise the people together.
Just think about it now. Like, this is what me thinking. Like, that has a profound, like, that must have like a proper effect on a child's like psyche for it to be a regular thing when you know on Sunday when you have to go home, like you're gonna be traumatic, you're gonna be upset, you're gonna be crying, I don't want to leave my dad, and like for you to have to go through that every time, it's like some kind of like.
Do you know what?
It's almost like a torture.
Trauma.
Yeah. But do you know what though? Yeah, I got over it. It was always a moment.
I feel like it got worse for me, but that's how I ended up living with my dad. Obviously, I could if I didn't want to go to my dad's when my mum had another baby, I didn't have to, innit? But I was like, yeah, I want to go. But obviously, I have an odd experience because I live with my mum, then my dad. But I feel like it's proper mad that like there's loads of kids out there that they have, even though you think, well, at least you get to see your dad. Yeah, but it's like obviously it's better than not seeing them. But you're still going through.
Your thing's different though. Your thing's different because you've basically gone from living with mum and then boom, it's like changing school to routed. Something completely different.
Yeah, I did change school.
And it's like, now it's like I'm living with my dad now. Whereas I was never just one set then dramatic switch. I was just.
You was also quite isolated with your mum. I imagine it was you and your mum a lot of the time. And your dad is very social and he's got a big family. He's got lots of friends.
To learn too.
Like I know you through your dad, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, not growing up with you, my relationship is with your dad, innit? You know what I mean? So that's what, and that's kind of like what my dad's like and that as well. But I'll be honest, bruv, like for me, I used to hate coming home, innit? I used to always want to be at my dad's. But I had older brothers and sisters at my dad's as well, innit?
Yeah.
But then I also had older brother and sister at my mum's house too.
Okay.
So I used to love it all, bruv. And my mad thing was like, when I'm older, I'm gonna get a massive house, which
live
the
with
reality is like, I
everyone,
can't
yeah.
even fucking afford. But I'm gonna get this massive house, and everyone's gonna live with me.
Yeah,
But I was so conscious enough as a child to realise that, okay, my mum and dad ain't gonna be fucking with each other like that. So my house was so big enough in my mind that you're gonna have that wing in it. You're gonna have that wing. And I'm gonna tell you that when we can all come together.
Yeah.
But I'm a little youth thinking them things there. You know?
No, trust
You
me.
know what film got me? Richie Rich.
Richie Rich, I used to love that. That's what I used to
with a
picture.
big family and
A thing as big as that, no arguments. Because you lot over there.
McDonald's in the yard and that.
Oh, I had it in the mind like my brother and sister's mums are gonna live with us as well. Like, this is the deeper. Think about my wedding in Jamaica.
Yeah, come on, you
I thought
was
we
getting
one
the
under
bad.
one roof. Do you know what I mean? And like I didn't think from an early age that this isn't how things are supposed to be. Because look at my aspirations, I wanted to have baby mums. I wanted loads of women. Do you know what I mean? So in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna have lots of kids, bro, with lots of different women, like my dad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's I'm keeping it real, bro. Like that's what I was thinking. You know what I mean?
Grew up around, see you there.
Then I just got a bit older, and old enough for me to realise the kind of issues that my dad's had with
that type of lifestyle brings, isn't it?
Exactly.
I feel like that's the way I've grown up.
And then I decided, you know what, I don't want that in it. But I've half got that because my son I had when I was so young, and I'm obviously not with his mum, and now I've got another daughter with my wife. So I've essentially got a baby mum, but I refuse to call her that, bro. I refuse to call her that. That's my son's mum. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yours kids as well, bro.
yeah, exactly. But I've got to give my son the respect to not sort of label his mum and give her the respect as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It's a silly term because I think that baby mum term also paints a picture of
how the relationship.
How the relationship is.
The relationship
dynamics,
between the two of you.
Yeah. And even the relationship with your son as well, like your child.
I would never call my missus, like I'd never refer to her as my baby mum.
Yeah, come on, it's just but that used to feel weird to me back then. Like it's always felt weird to me.
I mean, I say it as a joke now.
I feel like you're saying it in a movie.
Yeah. I don't know, it just feels weird, man. It feels a bit degrading. But the key for me anyway, from that conversation is just the idea behind the fact that I just wanted to have all of these women and stuff and baby mums and different kids and things. I thought it was the norm.
Yeah, I knew I wanted like.
You know, and it wasn't until I wanted lots of kids. Like this I can't.
I didn't think about who they was with.
Do it. I don't want to do it. Do you know what I mean?
I just knew that I wanted kids. That was one thing I did know, that I wanted kids, and I knew that I was going to live with my kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
So essentially, that we all knew, growing up as a child, that what we're going through is not the norm. So it changed our dreams in a sense of how we want to be as adults, innit?
Yeah, it changed. I feel like having that kind of upbringing, and understanding it when you're a child, and realizing that, like, or even looking back on it and as an adult or a young adult, and thinking that it wasn't normal, it changes what you're able to accept in your now life. Like, there are probably times where all of us, argue with our missus or the mothers of our children, and in your mind you're like, I don't even know what to do now, innit? Like, I just want to wash my hands of you, but you keep working towards maintaining a relationship or whatever, because you won't accept like no, I'm not going to be away from my kid, innit? Like, man's gonna make this work. Whereas I don't think they was doing, like, I don't think our parents were, or our farmers anyway, were trying, they were willing to accept not being with their kids, innit? Sort of thing. Like, it's not what they wanted, but it was acceptable.
But you know, in their defense, they're like first generation.
Yeah, exactly.
Parents,
My dad's parents were from.
They're born West Indies, come on. So it's like
my dad was born in
different time.
Oh, my dad was born in England, but he was raised in Antigua until he was 7.
Yeah, it's mad. So it's true. I think I've been spending a lot of time trying to understand the thinkings of my parents, like, especially some of the decisions that they made, bro. Because you You was talking about how close proximity your family lives and stuff. And like for me, that again, so normal, bro. All my brothers and sisters, we're from the same estate.
To me, that was not normal.
We're from the same estate. Do you understand? Like there was 3 tower blocks in Boundary, bro. The red block, the green block, the blue block. My dad had picked me in each one.
Yellow as well.
Was it yellow one too? I don't remember the yellow. I just remember those 3.
That's mad.
So I'm saying my brother and sister were in the blue, my brother in the green, and then I was in the red one.
That's just that council estate life, though, isn't it?
It's for real.
That's
It's for real. And then
I didn't originally grow up on the council estate. So when I came to the ends and I
Yeah.
saw that, you live there and you live there and your brother and sister, that was weird to me, bro.
It was weird, but to me
That
it was
was
so
like
normal that to go round the corner.
Or people that
to
live near their
brothers
nans
sisters.
and that, your nan and your mum live near each other. Like my nan lives half an hour drive from my mum. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was what it was like in my life. And then when I saw that you lot was all like, this one's there and this one's there and this one, I'm like, right.
But that's how it is. I'm 45. I'm 40 minutes. What, 40 minutes to my mum's? Nah.
Yeah,
My dad's half
one's ever been there.
hour, 35 minutes. So it's the same like that. It's the same for me now as well. But growing up, that was so normal.
Everyone was walking.
And it didn't really, like, I didn't realise how different it was until I got older. I'm talking even leaving secondary school. Because even in secondary school, I'm surrounded with like-minded people, bro.
Yeah.
Like people that are experiencing the same hardship that I am, or the parents, the same people that are in similar situations to me. They see their dad on the weekend. I used to see my dad every other weekend. You were lucky nigga, you see your dad every weekend.
Every week. I stayed every other. It was Wednesdays and Fridays.
I see my dad every Friday
See,
as well.
that's what I'm saying. I never saw my dad in a week. It was always the weekend.
Even then we used to get takeaway. See, I used to be gassed to see my dad because I know that he's gonna take me to a Nando's or something. I'm gonna get a KF, I'm gonna go get a Brian Eagle. I'm gonna go get me some proper man food, you know what I mean? And then that's even set a precedence, because even in my house now, Friday is takeaway day, which I'm sure it's quite a popular food
Every
anyway,
house,
isn't it?
Yeah.
My house.
You know what I mean?
Fish and chips. bro.
Every house, his dad wasn't home.
Let me ask you that question though. Did you think about, because I think the society that we live in now is very much, I think it's moving away, but we're very materialistic. You know, it's very much focused on money and sustaining that money, growing that money for future success, basically.
Money doesn't go as far, does it?
How much did you think about money as a child?
I never thought about money.
Yeah, I never thought about money.
Money were nothing. Not to say money weren't nothing, because like we was a working class family, innit? But mum just had everything patterned, bro. I feel like my childhood was calm. I never had to. I didn't know that.
I
You know the struggle.
really
Yeah,
started
like-
thinking about money when I moved in with my dad, I think. Because,
Did he show you like what you got to work or?
no, it's just, it was tight, bro.
A bit more vocal.
People always thought that a man had money because my house was a council house or something like that.
Yeah.
But my dad was broke, fam. Well, not broke, but it was tight. Like everyone else had trainers and shit like that. That I had to wait for, innit?
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting Air Max 95s when, in fact, I never had a pair of Air Max 90s
No, did
because
I?
you would not pay £95 for it. Yeah, I only ever got Forces or something that was like near £50.
Yeah.
Like I never got the 110s, no good trainers, cuz. Yeah.
Jews used to have all of them.
All of them, and everyone, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone else on
That man's just shopping in JD, but I'm in JJB, cuz.
Trust. Man's in the Sports Direct and that.
First sport.
It pissed me off, man. Buy me
Yeah,
that- buy
fam.
me
That's
that
when I started thinking about
Capital.
money. I knew that I wanted to have a better job than my dad,
Yeah.
because man don't want to be having to wear out money.
But I think that's something that's missing for me, because I never thought about money too much. I just thought about things, like the materialistic things, and the fact that I wanted it. Like that was it. I never really how am I getting it part would never cross my mind when I was
just
a
getting
child.
it because I wanted it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have everything. That was it. How you gonna get it? You need money. I'm gonna be rich. How you gonna be rich? I'm gonna be rich.
I know that.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna be rich.
Shut your mouth. I'm
That's
gonna
the
be rich.
answer.
And so it is drug dealing and all of that stuff was not something that I was privy to
Yeah.
being young. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't have older brothers. Well, I had older brothers,
Yeah.
but I didn't didn't know them, innit? So, like, my mum was like I said, mum was sheltered, fam. I weren't even allowed water guns that looked like guns, like all them toy cat guns. Cause she didn't like the idea of a young black boy and playing with guns and that. She was really onto me about shit like that.
But they teach you some good lessons though, bro.
What's that?
That's taught you something.
Showed you for a reason.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You've got thoughts to. You knew a lot earlier. But you know, looking back, I felt like I was more likely to get myself into trouble than what you would have been when we was younger. Do you know? I think you was a lot more sensible.
Yeah, I was.
You know,
I feel like I was
sensible.
sheltered in a sense as well, because I just always used to see the good in everything. Like my uncle, never known him to have a 9 to 5, but he was always nice to me and always used to drop peas on them. Oh, you're safe, innit?
Yeah.
Never even considered what
Didn't
bad was.
consider
That's
nothing.
You don't.
Like,
never even consider.
my dad was always there
Some
for
people
me.
know, fam.
But I never really knew that. But it's just as I've got, bro, I grew up around a lot of substance abuse, bro. Like that's how I have to say it now, because like my full-on closest family relatives and stuff like that. Not necessarily blood relatives, but just people that have grown up around very tight knitted. I'm a full-blown nitties, bro. Like and like if you think deep, you'll know certain people I'm talking about. Like,
And then you're just seeing
these
it
are people that I grew up with.
in your house.
So in my house, or I'll stay at that house, you know.
Yeah.
In some cases, I'm still around some of these people, you know. And the
How
fact that-
your son sees us now
right,
is how it was for you then.
right, exactly. So I literally had a lot of these people around me, and it's got to shape. It's got to shape me in some way, shape,
it
or
does,
form.
it does,
It's got
it
to do
does.
something to me, you know. And I think that's what I've
Because as a child, innit, you're seeing them as your loved ones. But then as you got older now, you saw them for, they're still your loved ones, innit?
Yeah,
But you saw them for who they
But
were.
you might
innit?
even grow up and look back and think, but I'm not sure they've even been taking me to that house.
But I have thought that. I thought that about
What
this
you
stuff. Well, it's more the case of they shouldn't have been at my house.
Yeah.
In 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
it was like, why did you have that person looking after us?
Mm.
Like, that is mad. Do you know
Yeah.
what I
It's
mean?
that's all hindsight though.
Yeah.
Because who are you
yeah.
now and what you've been through.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just being within a situation like that. It's difficult to step back and look in, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
It
know,
is.
like for my parents, that's what they obviously didn't do. It's just
I
now
feel
I've
like
got older, I'm doing it.
I learned that at a young
We're doing it
age.
now with this exercise.
I learned that at a young age where anyone you know in your life has a title in it. So when you're born, mum, dad, title, grandparents, brother, sister. Like everyone's got a title in it.
Yeah.
So as a kid now, them titles hold mad respect. So
Yeah.
as soon as that's your family, that's supposed to be mad respect in it.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you start. All right, cool. You got the title, but what's your name? For instance, so mum. Cool, you're my mum. You've taken care of me. Blah blah.
Who
blah.
are you,
But
mum?
who is Cheryl now?
Yeah.
Then you start. Who's Michael? So now I'm starting to see that you're not superheroes. You're human beings, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
make mistakes, and you're not perfect. And if you were a stranger and behave like that, right, you're a dickhead, man.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I learned early.
To take them as individuals, not just as your parents.
Yeah.
I think that's something I've only.
Take anyone.
It's
as
only
an
been the last
individual.
couple of years.
Yeah, same. That's
I
not.
learned that early, bro.
Yeah, so the last couple of years.
I wish I knew that.
Yeah, same.
That leads on to one of my points actually.
Yeah, go on with
Because,
it.
like my dad used to always be on to me about doing well at school. And I literally thought, like, bro, he was on to me so much about doing well at school, yeah? I literally thought to myself, like, as long as I do well at school, man's gonna get a banging job. I'm gonna be able to do anything I want. Like,
Giving it reason why he's onto you so much.
no, bro, it's well, yeah, that is the reason that he's onto me, but, bro, he's not, like, he's just saying do well at school, but he's not actually giving man proper guidance.
Like, we need a session on parenting. We need a session on parenting.
Like, and it had me thinking that, alright, like literally, it don't matter.
We love our
on the
parents,
roads. Yeah, of course, yeah,
big
but
time,
that's
big time.
But it had me thinking, like, literally, don't matter if I'm on the road doing this, that, and the other, yeah. as long as I do well in my GCSEs, I'm gonna go and get a banging job. When man need experience and like social skills,
you
and
didn't know
problem
the details,
solving
innit?
skills. Like man was just naive about it, bro. Like, I feel like that's one thing that I didn't get that when you're young, yeah, and you think about what you want to be when you're older, yeah, you don't like. I never even understood what a proper day of work is. Like
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? You don't understand that man are relying on you to do this. Like when you go in the morning and they say, do these, like fill out these reports and then go and get the photocopies and then take this to the bank or whatever.
It's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility to do that. Like otherwise their business don't run, fam. Like they don't, like you just don't get taught enough about that stuff when you're young, I think.
But I guess that's the kind of that's probably why they've got a structure like school. You know, because
I feel like school don't teach you that.
that's but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the messaging behind that. When they say things like
All school wants you to do is pass the exam.
yeah, because they've got their own
Own
criteria,
agenda, yeah.
their own agenda. But I mean, like in the sense, you know, you'd be late
Yeah.
for school, late for a lesson.
It doesn't matter.
They'll be like, if this was at work, like you get fired. But I just never took that serious.
Yeah, I know.
I never took that serious, and I think there's got to be a way that you can paint that picture for, or just drum that message in another way. I don't know. I'm not an education
without
expert,
rewarding
you know what I
kids,
mean?
without actually employing them to come to school.
Yeah.
You can't, like, how are you going to teach them that? If they got paid a wage to come to school, even if they got paid like 50 pence an hour from, yeah, like, if they,
It's got to be done in
and
the
if
home.
they're late, their first 50 pence gets taken off, like that's incentive to be there. Like they understand that they have to come to school and do their work, and you get something out of it. Like you don't see what you get out of it.
That goes back to home, I think, because I don't care if I'm late for school because that don't mean nothing. Because my mum was late for everything. So if my mum's late for things.
This brother is still late for everything.
I know.
You're late for everything, man.
Right, so it's been put in me, innit?
Yeah.
So if my Marjorie was doing it, fuck I care about if I'm getting late to work then, innit? Or school telling me if I'm, what? My mum's late all the time, bro. What? Like, you know, it's life,
It's
innit?
right to be late.
It's normal, innit?
Yeah. I've got another question for you lot then. So taking that into account and how much your dad used to drum into you about education and stuff, do you guys feel like you was well equipped to go into a mature adult world, real world as such? That you feel like you had enough tools, you feel like you was...
No.
I feel like I had the tools, yeah, but I bought the wrong tools to the fight, bruv. I had tools, but right, you didn't tell me it was like this.
Yeah.
We said you
should have made it
put your life to the gunfight.
Yeah, you should have made it a bit more realistic. So I feel like that's what I'm doing in my parents.
Yeah, but then in order to do that, then don't you have to take away a piece of a man's childhood? You're cutting it short because you're giving him the real, like.
Yeah, it's true. It's a thin line, isn't it? Because even though I feel like I'm gonna drill that into my son, like right now he's 5 years old, so I just want to keep him innocent and his imagination wild, innit? But there will be that age where, like, say Isaiah now, you can start filtering some real harsh realities, just a little bit.
I think I've done it with him from to becoming a dad. Obviously, 15, turned 16 shortly after. I just had fears. That's all that I had. I had fear, people judging me and stuff. So I was on him so much. Like I didn't want to be out at somebody's house or shopping, and then he's doing something to embarrass me. Like I would get embarrassed by him quite quickly because I felt like I'm in an embarrassing situation by having him so young as it is anyway. So I think for me, I was just always onto him and strict with everything. And as he's got older, because he's turning 13 soon, so like I talked to him a bit more about mature stuff. And sorry if you're watching Isaiah and you get embarrassed. But like, I talked to him a bit more about girls, and I talked to him a bit more about how black people, mixed race people are perceived in society. So I'm trying to equip him.
You're talking to him about how you present yourself.
Having pride in things that you do, and just an effort and just all of these things, man. I just look at people that we grew up around, and it scares me that our environment that we grew up with, of the fights, the knives, the guns, you get me, not without getting into it all. like it scares me, bro. Like I don't want that for him, and that's what
Yeah, but
I'm
you
saying.
gotta know that he's not gonna be into all of that.
Yeah, but even though I know that, I'm scared, bro. Like, do you know? I'm just, I don't know,
It
bro.
can happen to anyone.
Yeah,
It can happen to
But
anyone.
that's just the
You
fear
can get
of-
roped. But I was a sweet kid. And that's this whole thing I was thinking of. I was such a
Kid that
sweet
wanted to be
kid,
a pimp.
a nice kid. Yeah, I know, innit? I was
Sweet pimp, you know what
I
I'm
was a
saying?
sweet kid. Because I wanted to be a pimp. I wanted to be a nice one. I don't want to slap the girls.
I wanna love my bitches.
I got some premium house, nigga. These is premium
I
bitches.
wanna love my bitches.
Premium bitches,
I'm a
please.
lover, not a fighter.
No, but I was also a sweet kid.
Yeah.
You know, I was a sweet kid, but I would look like a little girl. Do you know what I mean? I had my hair all out, and do you know, like I was loving. I liked the hugs and stuff, and I just feel like, as I said at the beginning,
Yeah, I was affectionate.
I was just robbed off of that because I just learned to become quite cold. Do you know what I mean? And I find it interesting what you said about the titles as well, Lorenzo, because lots of people in my life got titles, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't have had those titles. There's a lot of people in my life growing up that had titles that shouldn't have had them. So like, as I've got a bit older, and I think there will be some backlash and people have things to say about it, that you guys as well, bro. But the way I've got as I've got older is, you are only my uncle if you are my mum or dad. You're my mum or my dad's brother. You are only my sister. You're only my auntie if you are my mum or my dad's sister. That, you know, uncle only mum and dad's brother. That's family. You that is your official title. You can't be nothing else. You got anything else, you got to be a friend or a family friend, because I've been in situations before, and maybe it's just my experience that's making, well, it obviously is going to be my experience that makes me think this, but I've been in situations where I've maybe valued a relationship more than that person's valued the relationship. So for instance, I'd say, Josh is my cousin, but then I hear Josh saying I'm his brethren. You know, and then that will make me feel away, innit? Like, make me feel like I'm a beg or something. I'll be like, in my head, I'm like, bro, we come up, we're cousins, bro. Like, what's wrong with you, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then I'm cold to that person now. I can't have the same relationship with that person. Just that one moment, you know, changes the whole thing for me. And I can make a list of people that
I don't. All the I've got two uncles that are like that.
Yeah.
And my cousins are my cousins to this day, and they've never called me anything other than my
And
cousin.
I think I know who you are. I certainly know who it is.
Yeah.
And he's your cousin, fam. That's how I see it. Do you understand? I will never. That don't change for me.
I haven't had anything.
That don't change for me. You've got a lot of people like that as well, innit, in your family. But it's just how it's been, man.
Yeah, it's just
how
your experience
I
in
find
life.
it. Because even down to the fact that I've got what, 7 brothers and sisters, you know, but none of them have got the same mum and dad, so I'm the only one from both of my parents. Yeah. So I took on a lot of my brothers and sisters' family. You know, so like with my brother, for instance, well, all my brothers, that family, I would classify them as my family because we were quite close knitted anyway. Same with my sisters, with my brother, like same with everyone.
Your siblings have got siblings.
Yeah, exactly. But then their families are quite big as well.
Yeah.
So then you
And
try
then they got siblings who've got cousins and
it branches out.
And as a cultural thing as well, like
Exactly.
we always flip in anyone older than us is straight away your auntie, your uncle,
Exactly.
or a big
Exactly.
cousin, innit?
But I realised as I've got older, the realities are, you know, people are not holding me in the same regard. You know, and I don't think it's anything about my character, like I've done something to them or I'm a certain way, so they don't associate themselves with me. I think it's just because time's gone on and that's just what they've realised.
Have you considered not putting so much emphasis on the title itself?
Yeah, and just taking it for what the relationship is. Yeah.
That's when
it gets even worse.
Don't you notice that you might have actual real uncles or aunties that don't deserve the title?
That's what makes it worse.
So you just got to choose, innit? You just got.
Yeah.
But you can't choose your family.
Yeah, when they have the title, it's not whether they deserve it or not. They have it because it's fact, innit?
Yeah.
Because it's your parent, sibling.
Exactly.
But now the thing is, I know you for the person you are now, innit? So fuck the title, because it's always gonna be there. I don't have to like you because you're an Indian, man. Because if you weren't someone
I'm
with the
gonna fuck
title.
with you, innit?
Yeah, you're an
And,
idiot.
and that's why now I've changed how I perceive my friends, because now friends to me are just friends is the family you choose, isn't it? So somebody could have a relationship with me and this again might think that they're my friend, but I might not hold them in regards as a friend. I might just see them as an associate or someone I know or someone I used to be friends with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I choose my friends as not choose my friends, but used to, for instance, are my family. But you're my friends you're the family that I've chose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's more how I see it. But when I was a child, it just used to be I've got this massive family. We all love each other. Whatever. But the reality is, I was probably an annoying little prick.
Do you know
People
what?
think I'm annoying.
I feel like
Yeah.
It just sticks every time they see me. I remember he was fired, man. He just fucking kicked me in my balls or something. It's annoying.
Would you say like starting in the working world as well that helped develop it? Because I feel like when I first started working, I was 15. Yeah, I knew it was work, but if I got along with someone, oh yeah, that's my brethren, innit?
Yeah, I never friend up people at work.
Yeah.
And I used to just because I used to just be cool with everyone, innit?
No.
And then I realised in work,
Fam, because
you got work people and
it's not
then
even that. Go
you
on.
got your personal life, innit?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I thought work was in my personal life when it's actually not in it. It's too. Well, it's how you perceive it, innit?
Yeah.
But how society perceives it, work is work and personal is personal. But I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Like I
That
feel
was
like
another learning curve for me as well. Innit?
on my first job, I made a friend, but I'd already knew him before, but I valued him as a friend now, even though we really do not see each other or talk much, but man do value him as a friend, innit? Like, man's got mad love for him. But that's like literally the only friend I've ever made during work. I've made other friends through work and that I've kept in contact
Do you
with.
think, because I think I know what you're talking about again, do you
Actually,
think it's
there's
because
two.
of how old you were when you met him?
Yes.
You think that's, you
Yeah.
now if you was to meet somebody,
Yeah, because I realised over time, I've realised that you can work with someone and you get a better job, bruv, yeah? And they're gone from your life, man. That's it.
then you get a new job.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah. I
They're
think
not,
that's how I
they were
realised
never
it.
part of your life, bro. They wasn't. They were part
Yeah.
of work, and that is it. They weren't part of your real life. Like you get
But at
one
the time, they
in
feel
like
like such a
50
big part, don't
colleagues.
they?
But it's only because you're
At the
seeing.
time, they
It's
feel
because
like
you're
such a
seeing.
big part of your
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
It's because
Yeah.
you're seeing them.
Because you're seeing them all the
It's
time.
like people
Yeah,
you
yeah.
work with, innit? You know them more than you know your family.
Like, tell her that
Yeah.
I made a next friend that later on in the line, but we don't talk much now. But I'd still consider him my friend. But not like we're not close. That's it. But it's a friend, innit? I would help.
I know
with
the two
me.
people he's talking about.
Yeah, I know, that's what it is.
Other like there's other people that I can think that I've worked
I know
with.
that
And if they
exposing
reach out
people
to
on
me for
camera,
help,
you get me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have the time for them, but I'd have the time for these two people.
Yeah, but because one of those people,
The first one.
I would hold them high as well, but just
Yeah.
because of your bridging.
The first,
Yeah.
first one. Yeah.
The first
Man
one.
saw him the other day.
Come on.
Yeah, so you still.
Come on, of course.
It wasn't the other day, but like.
Yeah. Recent enough, innit? Recent enough.
It was
That's
last year,
that's my
'cause
guy, bro.
2020 is dead, isn't it?
But you know what
It's
it is?
because we went through a growth stage together.
Yeah. So you get to understand that person's character a lot
Yeah.
more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And there's people like you, man, for instance, that your associates don't need to be validated for me. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
regard him so high as well. Bro.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Because he's your people.
If you was to bring someone round and I didn't know them, I wouldn't need to question it.
Right.
Any-
Yeah,
I am very, very funny about who I build relationships with.
Yeah.
Like, and I've really like my main criteria for if you are valued as family or friend is time. That is it. Because
So what was it like versus as a child? Like when you was a child, would you?
no, it was always the same because I was sheltered in it, so I didn't have really many friends.
Yeah.
And the people that I knew, I'd known from being thing like my first original friend, my first ever friend is my fake cousin. Yeah, the same person that we was like referencing to before, and we was having a conversation about this, and then he explained it to me like this is like the reason that you like he and I value people that we've known since we were children is because when you're a child, yeah, you can't hide who you are.
Yeah.
You are you
Yeah.
when you are a child, innit? When you grow up, you change and but you are in there, innit? Like you know what kind of things they're capable of, what kind of things you could see them doing, or kind of things I doubt very much you'll do that because you know what kind of things they've been through in their life. You know a lot more about them than someone that you might have worked with for 5 years.
You also get some mad trust as well, innit? When you think about it.
A child's innocence.
Feel like you kill for your religion.
It's mad.
It's mad, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like, man, fam, from time, like the way I say it, like we were saying it, like, blood, if you've had a bath with a man, that's your people, cuz.
Yeah,
you get me? Man's had baths together, yeah? That's your people. Remember that, blood. Come on, because like, when you're young, like, there's no one around like that, fam. Like, me and this person grew up together, blood, because at the time he was an only child, I was an only child. So we were the closest people that we had. And that's why man don't need to see man for time, blood. Man are doing big birds in jail, all stuff, and we still can link up tomorrow, and
it's like nothing.
And you pick up straight away where you left off.
Because man know me, fam, from
exactly.
from what day, cuz.
Let me ask you another question as well. Then you see when you see him and you're talking to him, do you kind of feel like you're talking to him as a child? Let's say that, like,
No,
for instance,
I used to.
I used to
when like I used to a little bit. Sometimes I still look at him and I see him as that. Especially because I was
a feeling that you feel it.
Yeah, especially because I was the older one as well, bro. I just feel the mad love that I've got for him. Like I just look at him and I look at him like he's my son, but he's not my son, obviously.
Yeah. I know.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because man was a bit older and that, but I look at him because I love him so much. Yeah, I look at him with the respect as you are your own man and you have grown yourself. And I respect your authority, you get me? Because you're your own person and I trust the way that you grew up. Because man grew up with you, fam. So if you was to say, blood, don't do that, bro. I'm telling you, stop doing that and do this. I would take your word for it, fam, because I know that you've got nothing but love for man and I know the type of person you are, and get me? That's it. And I know that you've grown up yourself, you've done your own learning and development. Like some people, you know, they don't change.
Yeah. we know. Stop developing. We know firsthand.
Trust.
Stop developing.
You know, it's true. There's just some people I speak to and they just automatically take me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, just even a name could take me back to it. Like, they could just tell me a name and it's like,
take you back.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people like that, but it's just, you know, do you know, it makes me upset sometimes, and because like with you, when you see that person, it's mad love, innit? But then I've got people like that when I see them, it's uncomfortable, man. Like, and it's like we should have that, but we don't. Do you know what I mean? Like,
why?
Yeah, I know, but what?
Because of them, obviously.
I don't know if that's fair,
it could be you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. It could be me.
Some people you just decide that you don't have time for anymore as well. Like, It's just in you, innit? You can't love everyone.
Yeah, it's strange, man. It's just strange. You get this. I just think
do you know what it is, fam? It's energy. So the fact that you're saying you should be tight means that you want to be tight with them.
Yeah,
it's the energy that they're giving back to you. Why you're not fucking with them?
Yeah, but I feel like an idiot then, innit? It makes me feel like a bed. Like I want something with this person, and they don't want it with me, innit? Like,
it's just harsh reality, innit?
Yeah.
So you're obviously doing something right.
It's a lesson to learn.
And they're obviously in a place where they're not. Bro, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But they're not thinking about the relationships they're building with people, innit?
They're actually selfish. Because you're actually thinking about them because you consider them.
Yeah. But that's like my point before. I've realised that.
But you can't feel bad for them. That's one thing you can't do. You can't feel bad for them. That just means you got a pure heart, fam. That's all it is.
It's more just like it's just disappointment. Do you know what I mean? It's disappointment.
That's better way you put
it in that situation there.
But that's a harsh reality.
Sometimes I think to myself, I can see. Like I think about my cousin, and I think I wish that we could see each other more. But at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. As long as you hold each other in the same regard, it doesn't matter if you see each other or not.
Do you know, this brings me on to another good point. You know how much time we used to spend with each other?
Yeah.
Like When
No,
you was
Arsenal. Hours and hours.
Yeah, it would be
like,
both.
adding up.
whole day.
Yeah, I know.
From
And then,
morning.
and then do it again the next day.
Yeah.
And then do it again the next day.
I thought that we'll be doing that forever. I genuinely thought we'll be doing that. I personally thought that.